Hey there, everybody. This is Sarah Nicole Nadler. I'm a business coach, and in this video, I want to walk you through how to build a team of self-starters. I'm going to be covering just a couple of tips, so grab a pen and paper and get right to it. Ready? Now, here's the thing that I want to start with. When it comes to building a team of self-starters, you really have to recognize that you can't build someone up into something that they're not, right? So where you start with building a team is in the hiring process. Everything from the ad you place when you're first searching for your very first employee to through the hiring process itself, which should be a filter that you use to actually make sure this person's going to be a good fit for your business, right? And to work with you, and right on to the onboarding process that you use in order to make sure this person is actually going to stick around and do a good job, right? Those are very important. I'm not going to cover all of that in this video, but we're going to go over just a couple of different points, a couple of different factors. The very first one I want to cover, which is sort of the overlaying thing I think people miss the most when it comes to building a team of people who are actually going to be running themselves without you having to constantly look over their shoulder or breathe down their neck, right? And this is the topic of morale. What morale is and how you as a business owner and as an executive affect morale is a very important subject that I think a lot of employers or small business owners in particular kind of miss because it just isn't taught anywhere, right? So we're going to really dive deep into this. What is the definition of morale? Here's a good dictionary definition. Morale is a confident, resolute, willing, and often self-sacrificing and courageous attitude that your employee has, right, towards you and your business or the functions and tasks that you're demanding or expecting of them. So morale is a feeling that you want your employees to have, right? And when that feeling is gone or their morale is low, you're going to have a group of people who are not as productive as you probably wish they were, right? So let's really break this definition down and see how this is a tool that you can use to build that team of self-starters that you actually need in order to be able, as a business owner, to step away from your business and have it be a company you own rather than a job you built around yourself. Okay. So first of all, confidence. What would it take to instill confidence in your team? Well, obviously you can't be over there tearing them down every other second, right? So a lot of this comes back on you as a leader, but it also has to do with the processes you use to hire and onboard and train them. If they're not well trained and they don't really know and have firm boundaries around what their expectations are, they're not going to be confident enough to build up the morale that you need them to have in order for them to be good staff, okay? So that's a very important key ingredient for building a self-starter team is give them the confidence that they need by training them correctly. Next, we have resolute. What does resolute really mean? Well, when you think of resolute, I want you to think of determination, right? The determination to do a good job. This comes back to the hiring process. If you're hiring people who are not willing to work. They're kind of there with a bit of resentment because they have to, or they're just there to clock in or clock out, and they don't understand or know or believe in the mission of your business. You're not hiring the right people. So again, this really comes back to using that filter when you very first meet that person, making sure your hiring process is firm enough to be a good filter for your business. Again, next word in this definition, willingness. What is willingness? Well, it's eager to work. That's what willingness is, okay? So if you're hiring people, again, right, who are not willing to work, or if somewhere along the lines, maybe they were willing at one point, but upsets or injustices or, inner office politics and things like that have hampered their willingness to work, their eagerness to be there and to show up every day, then their morale is going to be low. So this is where beyond the hiring process, we have to have systems in place to handle things like inner office gossip, right? Knocking that out, or making sure that people feel like they have recourse if something is demanded of them that they think is not fair. There better be an HR section, or at least one. If you're a one-man band, there better be a safe time and place and moment, safe space that you create for your employees where they can come to you about anything, right? That's very important when you're very first starting out and you and they may be the only people on your team, right? So that can be a little bit of a struggle usually for small business owners when they're first starting out, is how do I be everything I need to be for everyone? Again, that's one of the things I teach in my workshops. So feel free to hop into a workshop anytime. But again, so morale, right? Often self-sacrificing encourages attitude. Well, I want you to stop for a second here and think about this. What makes you willing to be self-sacrificing about your business? Probably because you got skin in the game, right? You have a reward that's going to come out of you putting this effort in now, years from now, when you have this amazing asset that you built for yourself and for your family. Maybe even for your kids, you can pass it on, right? Or maybe you're planning to sell it to somebody. So again, making your staff have skin in the game is one of the primary ways that you can build a self-starter team. Because if your staff feel like no matter how much effort they put in, they're always going to make the same amount of money, or no matter how much effort they put in, they're never going to get your gratitude or your approval, they're very unlikely to really put any real effort into building your business with you. So I want you to remember that, and really maybe even pause this video for a moment and stop and think, maybe make a list of 5 or 6 ways that you can give your staff skin in the game. They should each feel like they own one of the walls of your building, right? Make them feel like they actually have rewards for good behavior. Not good behavior as in being nice to each other, but I mean like production. Productivity should be well rewarded, right? So really think about that. That's what gives you your self-sacrificing and courageous attitude towards your business. They probably need the same motivation that you do. All right. So moving on, we're going to talk about a couple of rules that come into play. The first one is looking at what morale is based on. Morale is based on, first and foremost, pride and achievement. So if I'm working at a company and I feel like nothing I do all day long could possibly ever please my boss, I'm probably not going to have very high morale. So how much of a self-starter am I really going to be, right? Same with having belief in aims as a group. If you're working for a company that is criminal or that has morals that are completely the opposite of your own, right? Either because your religious background or family background or any other reason you feel like they're at odds with your personal beliefs, you're probably not going to do a very good job at your business, at your position, right? Same with you as a business owner. If you're trying to sell something you don't believe in, you're not going to do as good a job as if you truly believe in your product and your service and what you're selling, right? So morale is definitely based on belief in the aims of the group, and making sure you hire people who match the aims that you have and have some kind of belief in the mission of your business are a key factor in having a team of self-starters, okay? Next, we have faith in its leadership and ultimate success. So when you show and display your uncertainty about your business and you show your team that you don't know what you're doing and that their jobs are at risk, right? Because the success of the business is at risk, you're gonna have a low morale team. This is why we often say that the top of a business or of a company is a very lonely place, because there's very few people you can truly turn to and spill your guts without there being repercussions, without the practice, right? Or the business. This is why having a business coach is so important, because you have someone you can trust, who you know will be lend an ear when you need it, and also a shoulder to cry on if you need it, right? So that's very important, is making sure that you are always showing up for your business and for your team in a way that inspires confidence, okay? And then lastly, devotion and loyalty to other members of the group. So this is where weeding out toxic staff from your team is very important. If you have team members who are kind of stirring the pot, creating gossip, creating trouble between each other, you want to drop that person like it's hot, to be totally honest, because you will be amazed at what your numbers will do when you get rid of staff like that. They are absolutely holding the rest of us back, and you really want to keep an eye out for that type of thing. All right, I hope you guys found this helpful today. If you have any questions for me about how to actually build a self-starter team, feel free to comment below. I do check the comments and personally read them. And you can also reach out to me if you want further training on how to actually be a good leader and lead your team to victory. I am absolutely all for it. I would love to talk to you. You can reach me at my website, sarahnicolenadler.com. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.